purpose land. Now, hear me. We are no fools on the heat. My people are no fools on the heat. You must let my people go, so we can rule from Cape to Cairo. You must free my people's hands, so we can rule our purpose land. I wanna know who owns the land. Who wanna know who owns the land? Okay, now listen carefully.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to your anchor man as we continue to ask, who owns the land? Who owns the land? And that question is not for you to answer. It is for those out there who contain a free and independent Southern Cameroons as of 1954. 1954. We ruled and governed ourselves and had our prime minister, and after which we conducted elections and handed over to another prime minister, John Gu Funcha, officiated by the one and only African Pan-Africanist of the day, the Honorable Nkrumah, came all the way to the Southern Cameroons, ladies and gentlemen, and mark you, Ahijo wasn't there. Ahijo wasn't there. The dignitaries that came in on that fateful day to witness the swearing in of Ambazonia's second prime minister, call him president, was the Honorable Nkrumah from the Republic of Ghana. That is to tell you how much we had taken control of ourselves living Nigeria in 1953. Thank you for tuning in. Again, it's another great day to be alive. Thank all of you in the diaspora, in Europe, in Canada, in the United States, in the Middle East. Lots of you out there in Dubai, the UAE, United Arab Emirates. Thank you for tuning in. Of course, I am your anchor man. Your anchorman, Chris Ano. Please, as usual, I expect you to go ahead and hit that share button. Go ahead and hit that share button, ladies and gentlemen, and let us quickly get the platform populated. Get it into the thousands. Get it into the thousands. I am looking forward to that. I am very much excited bringing you this show today. It is a show that opens a new front, a new battlefront in this war. We are no longer just going to face La République du Cameroon. We have blacklegs and enablers within us who are more dangerous than the French Cameroon colonial occupational forces in our territory. French occupational forces do not go after any of our interests or any of our own until the blacklegs and the enablers have tipped them off and get them coming around. So I am so glad we're going to discuss that today, and I have a powerful panel that will be looking into that, taking part in that discussion. So please, I expect you to do your part. I need to see the numbers jumping immediately. If you have just joined the broadcast, hit your share button. Hit your share button. Let me know that you are doing your part out there, ladies and gentlemen. I speak to so many people, and I see a lot of disgruntledness out there among our people, and they feel like the struggle is going down. Please, I must tell you, I have had reason to think about giving up, about surrendering, about just ignoring this thing and minding my own business. How many of you really know that some of us in the diaspora, we really don't have anything to go to ground zero to take? Do you know that? Some of us really don't have any more interest left on ground zero, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing. Nothing. So the question is, why do you fight? We fight, I fight, because there is a generation that is coming after me. I fight because I got a daughter who would want to one day go back and see where the father came from. I fight because, ladies and gentlemen, if you live in this world and fight for nothing, you are nobody. You represent nothing. If it is just about yourself, if it is just about yourself, then you live a life most miserable, as the Bible says. But listen, we fight because when we go, we want to be remembered what we left behind. People who die in the midst of a struggle, of a fight, and go without fighting, they will never be remembered for anything. They will never be remembered for anything. I better be remembered fighting when I go, like in the case of Field Marshal of Amazonia. So that is why we are into this. We're not fighting this because we hope to come to Amazonia and become the ministers and the leaders and the president. By God's grace, that happened. We welcome it. We welcome it. But listen, why our eyes are focused on Boya? We, personally, I speak for myself, ladies and gentlemen, I speak for myself. I am not looking to being the one that take you to Boya. Again, if God allowed that to happen, we welcome it. But you know, when we fight this thing, we must have an open mind. I am one of those who do not believe that any particular individual, any particular organization must be the one that takes us to Boya. I don't care if it is Cho Ayaba. I don't care if it is Bo Herbert. I don't care if it is Akwanga Ebenezer. I don't care if it is Weber. I don't care if it is Goji Dinka in his old age. Anybody can take us to Boya. I just want us to get there. I don't care how we get there. I don't care who takes us there. Let us get there. That is all. That is all that is important here in this struggle, especially at this moment, ladies and gentlemen. So this is not about us. If it is about you, if you are a leader in this struggle and you think it is all about you, you got it completely wrong. You are not thinking of the generality, the 8 million Amazonians who are struggling, suffering, who has lost loved ones and lost family and lost children, lost wives and husbands. You're not thinking about those school children who are seated at home and not able to go to school. It should never be about any of you, about any of us. Yet we must play our rules to the fullest, so that when we hand over, so that when we leave, nobody will have the reason to say we didn't offer our best, we didn't do our best. Absolutely not. That is what this struggle should be. Selfless people, selfless leader. And I must say this, we have a problem in this leadership, in this interim government, in this organization, be it APL and be it AGovC, be it, every one of these organizations you can think of. Even when we have an interim government that was established to manage, put leaders in place to manage and lead us to Boya. You put leaders in place and they become sit tight even when results are not being seen. Even when they're fighting alongside La République du Cameroon. They just sit there. I read a little post this morning, somebody forwarded it to me and somebody said, all of you in the diaspora, you are just doing leader change, swapping leaders, doing elections, doing that. We are not focusing on ground zero. I disagree with that. I disagree with that, ladies and gentlemen. When you put a leader at the helm of any organization and the leader does not deliver, that leader should be removed in a democratic way. He or she should be removed in a democratic way. Because we need good leaders to lead. We don't just need people who take it for an occupation, for a profession, and sit there and they call them Your Excellency, Madam President, Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, CIC. Nonsense. If you are not doing the work, you should be put out. And the person who will do the work should take the role. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's just the way I talk. I don't raise my voice, but before I know my voice is high, I don't know why, but that is just me. Please go ahead and hit your share button. Let me see what you guys are saying out there. I'm giving you time, a little time to hit your share button. If you are just joining, please hit that share button. Hit that share button if you are just joining. Let me see what is in your mind. Let me know if you are watching by way of Roku. If you have Roku in your house and you are watching or you have been watching, let me know. Drop a note here. Let me know that you got Roku with you in your house. And please, if you are joining, hit the share button. Let us quickly populate this platform. I'm having a powerful panel here. And throughout the coming week and the next week, it's going to be very, very exciting here on ABS with excellent guests showing up. All right, let me see. Christian Kumbo, as always, the first one to be here. Exodus, nice one. Secretary Chris. Jean Bako, I see you, sir. I see you. Let me know if any of you has downloaded Roku in your home. All right. Eric Guan, great to see you. Secretary Chris, more grace, sir. Thank you, sir. Bernardo Argo, I see you. I see Nicholas Elia. He says, well, Paul Nilong. Bravo to Comrade Lagmi Nestor. Okay. Nestor is a great guy. All right. Bridget Achotia, we are glad to have you, Anchorman. God bless you for your sacrifices. God will punish and expose those enablers that want Ambazonians to believe that you are working for the enemy. Don't be worried. They've thrown so many stones and none. They are desperate. None is sticking. And I just hope that they continue to throw many more stones. Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 years coming into your homes and your social media sets, after 6 years, I don't need to come to you, defend myself in any way, by any means, because I think I have been very consistent. Very consistent. So let them throw stones, and as many as they can, they return to them 100-fold. All right. Okay, who is this? Alexandro South watching. Thank you, sir. And who else? Gideon Monto says, watching from Iwing Village. Wonderful. Great to hear that, sir. Jean Bakoa mentioned you. Who else is here? Exodus DX. Boya is our final destination. You can say that again, sir. Sama Aloysius, Anchorman, I appreciate all your efforts. May God continue to strengthen you. I received that, sir. And who else is here? Andy 80. I see you, sir. Christopher Abeti, watching from South Africa. Karen Williams. We love you, our Anchorman. Thank you, ma'am. James Malu. Great man, you have said it all. Thank you, sir, from Germany. Fidelis Nzegung, love you, Secretary Crazy says. Tamanji Charles, says Charles from Oyuka. Wonderful, great. Okay, Bama John, ladies and gentlemen, the numbers are not jumping to my liking. If you have just joined, please hit that share button. Hit that share button so that I can come to you with this presentation proper. Anna Bita, hello, Chris, nice to see you. Thank you, ma'am. All right, and I see in the Anye watching Amber Tucker, we really need to get rid of blacklegs In Fako, not just in Fako, they are dotted all over the national territory, and here I refer to Ambazonia. They are dotted all over Ambazonia, and that is why I call it another battlefront that we have to undertake while we face La République du Cameroon. Karine Williams, see you. Tengen Waka, watching from Batibo. God bless you, Secretary Chris. Thank you. I don't know whether it's a ma'am or sir, but thank you. Mbida Atemenge, Sako is the #1 enemy of this struggle. Well, he's not alone. Many of them out there. All right. Stella Anita, courage, our unshakable secretary, match fire. Thank you, Stella. Cecily Con, I see you. I see also James Mulu. I've mentioned you. Okay, who else? Who else? Andre DiCarlo, the Mulu Omar of Ambazo, or the Mula Omar of Ambazonia. Okay, do I look like Mullah Omar? You know Mullah Omar, right? Was it the Taliban guy in Afghanistan? Mullah Omar. Well, I don't think I look any way closer to him. I'm not wearing what do they call it? Those regalia. I'm not wearing any of those. I don't have beards, so you're not close at all. All right. Isatitso Daniel. This is a bad one name. I can pronounce it really good. I see you, Secretary Chrissy says. Emmanuel Dango. Okay. Blaze Sa, I see you. Michael Nkunglefa, I see you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let me end this here and come to you. And while I continue, please hit your share button as you join. Let me start with these so-called lockdown rumors that we hear out there. Now, I am addressing all of you on ground zero, and Bamenda should take particular note. If you are in Bamenda, please, I need you to take note of this announcement. And when you get the announcement, please make sure that you pass it to every nook and corner of all of the northern zone. We have said here again and again and again that when there is a lockdown, I will come to you. Or Iya Marianta will come to you. Or Mike Fusi will come to you. Or Clovis Nanchop will come to you. These are the personalities that when you hear from them, anything you hear from them, you take it to the bank. You take it to the bank. Now I am coming to you, ladies and gentlemen, to remind you, all of you on ground zero from the southern to the northern zone, that the alleged lockdown being declared by some people who do not want to put out their faces like mine are declaring for, I learned, 1 month. It's supposed to start on Monday, I learned. Listen, the only thing that we continue to observe is our regular Monday ghost towns. Our regular Mondays ghost towns. Nothing else. This interim government will not be declaring any lockdown in August. Of course, if there is an emergency need, we will do so. But as of now, there are no plans for any lockdown in all of Ambazonia for the month of August. No lockdowns for the month of August. The interim government isn't declaring a lockdown for the month of August. The only thing that we continue to respect and observe is our regular Mondays ghost towns. So on Monday, you wake up, you go about your business. On Tuesday, you get up. On Monday, you wake up, you observe. Stay in your homes and observe ghost towns. stay in your homes. On Mondays only, observe our regular ghost towns. And then Tuesday, you wake up, go about your normal activities. Go about your normal activities. And I hope this is coming to you timely enough to circulate the information, circulate the news. And I'm hoping that all the activists out there in the social media will forget about elections. Ladies and gentlemen, please shut your mouth about elections. Educate people about things like this. Educate people about things like this. This is very, very critical. We cannot continue to subject our people to unnecessary lockdowns. When we have 20th May, or when they declare 20th May, 11 Februaries, mountain races, and so on and so forth, or when somebody they consider an important dignitary is visiting any part of our territory, we will declare lockdowns. But we will not wake up in the morning and declare a week, a month for a lockdown for any reason. Please go about your business as from Tuesday. After the Monday goes down, go about your usual business. Go to your shops. Go to whatever you do. Take care of your business. We acknowledge that with the passing of each day, things only get harder, more difficult for you on ground zero. And we are not prepared to add pains, to add injuries to the pains you already have by calling for unnecessary lockdowns. So please, the interim government isn't planning for any lockdown for all of August. The only lockdowns we know are Mondays lockdown, Monday ghost towns. If we have need for a lockdown, we will come back to you and we will explain why. But we will not shut down Ambazonia because of some plate numbers, as I'm hearing out there. I don't know how true that is, but we hear that somebody is calling for a lockdown because of plate numbers. What has that got to do with punishing La République du Cameroon? What has that got to do? Unfortunately, also, look at that. The people that are calling for a lockdown have not proven to us they have a single battlefield in Ambazonia. We have not seen none. We've not seen them conducted or carry out any offensive against La République du Cameroon invading terrorist soldiers. We haven't seen any. And all they know how to do is kidnap people, take ransom, and then call for lockdowns. Please go about your business. And again, if you are an activist out there, take up this announcement, put out the audio messages. Let us educate and inform our people to the effect that we do no longer tolerate unnecessary lockdowns. Anybody just calling for a lockdown without explaining to you why a lockdown is necessary, you should begin to question it. If you hear an announcement from me tomorrow, Chris, I know that there is a lockdown, the first thing you should be doing is, Secretary Chris, what is this lockdown all about? You don't have to be sheepish because you are afraid. Afraid of what? So please, that is the message. We have no plans for any lockdown. We have no plans for any lockdowns, ladies and gentlemen. So please go about your business. As you wake up from Monday, observe Ghost Town. Tuesday, go about your business. Now, let me take this or other announcement here. Now, there is an audio that is making an audio message. Please hit your share button. I haven't started yet. Hit your share button as you join. I want to see at least 1,000 people, 1K on this screen. So go ahead, hit your share button before I come into the proper subject here. There is an audio message that is making the rounds in the social media, And I like to say something about that. I call it a false alarm. And I like Ground Zero particularly to take note of this. I like Ground Zero to take note of this. That audio message is a false alarm. And this is the message. Listen to it.
All right, Mr. Joel, good evening. Just to inform you that I'm forwarding you a message as from tomorrow. Forward this message to all the nooks and crannies of the people you know, especially in your meeting. Forward the message to them. Tell them, as from tomorrow is the 26th of July 2022. As from tomorrow, a government is launching a new control telephone calls, WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, everything. A new system is put in place as from tomorrow. So,
all right, I'm sure most of you have listened to this short audio message. It went viral, I think, a day or so ago. Listen to me carefully, Ambazonians. This must be one of those messages from La République du Cameroon, blacklegs or agents trying to intimidate you from carrying out your regular social media activities. They know that you receive messages from all over the place and you turn around and also disseminate them. Listen, La République government does not have the ability to monitor your digital social media calls or messages. I am talking about Facebook, as they say. He even mentions YouTube. He mentions WhatsApp. He mentions Instagram. Listen to me carefully. I am an IT engineer. Also, La République du Cameroon does not have the capability to monitor your WhatsApp, to monitor your Facebook. They can monitor your Facebook only by logging into your Facebook website or Facebook page to see what you are posting. They cannot intercept what you send out on Facebook or YouTube. They cannot even intercept the messages that you pass out using WhatsApp or Telegram or all those apps that we use for messages. La République du Cameroon doesn't have the capability to monitor anyone. If they were monitoring anybody on it, you would agree with me, they would be monitoring all of us, our WhatsApp and Telegram and all those grams. They would be monitoring us, isn't it? No, they do not have the capability. You should not be intimidated as this audio message wants you to be. Ignore that. It is irrelevant. It is not true. La République du Cameroon cannot monitor your Instagram, your Telegram, your WhatsApp. Again, they can only monitor what you are posting on the social media like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and so on. Yeah, they can monitor those if they know you. But it is very easy to dribble them, right? Just go on Facebook, if you are using your real names, change your real names, put a different name, and continue to post what you want. That's what you can do to avoid them knowing who exactly is posting what, especially if you are on ground zero, if you don't want to be known. Another option that you can do, especially for phone call, if you are really afraid, you have no reason to be afraid. La République du Cameroon cannot even monitor your regular phone line. I'm not talking about WhatsApp. I mean your regular. If they were, listen, you know that many of us in this thing, we are calling La République du Cameroon every day for the past almost 6 years. They have never intercepted a message from me. If they did, we would have known. So please, again, do not be intimidated. There is nothing they can do to monitor you for any messaging that is passing through the digital sphere. They cannot monitor you. All right? Only somebody who knows you can take it and send to them and say, see what John or Ben or Sisi is posting. Other than that, They cannot sit in a small room somewhere and say, let me see what Anna just sent through her phone. Let me see what John just put out through her phone. No, they don't have the capabilities. They don't have, even most countries, I don't think any country in Africa, in that matter, has the capabilities. I think very few countries have those capabilities. Very few countries have those capabilities. Maybe China, Russia, USA, United Kingdom, all of Central Europe, maybe, but the overwhelming majority of countries cannot track what you are saying through your phone calls in Telegram, WhatsApp, and all those other apps. So do not be intimidated, because they don't want you passing out information, messaging about the struggle, especially videos and pictures. They cannot get you. Keep it up. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me get to the subject of the day here. Let me get to the subject of the day here. It is very, very important. And before I get there, one more thing, please. One more thing before I take you to the subject. And please hit your share button. Hit your share button. I don't like the numbers at all. I don't like the numbers at all. If you have just joined, go ahead and hit your share button so that I come to you proper with this broadcast. But before I do that, I just want to remind you that ABS is on Roku TV, as you find on your screen. Now, if you look at the icons there to the right, you see Bless TV, World News TV, you see DTV, Noliland, you see CGTN, Freeview, and then you see ABS. That is exactly the logo of ABS television on Roku. Now, if you look at the menu on your left, you see none, you see featured free, you see live TV, you see what to watch, and then search, and then movie something. Now, if you follow down that, if you go down that menu, you will see the word, or you will see the menu that is called streaming media. You want to get ABS, you click on that streaming media. When you click on streaming media, the search button will open. You type in the search button Africa Broadcasting Service, and then once you type Africa Broadcasting Service, you will see the logo of ABS as you find here on the screen, as you find there on your screen. And the moment, ladies and gentlemen, you find the logo on your screen, you can then download it into your system, into your TV. You click the download button or the installation button and download and install. Once you download and install, you will have this ABS logo among the logos that you have on your Roku, as you see right here. So that anytime you want to play ABS, you just hit that logo and it takes you live to whatever is broadcasting at that moment. We are appealing to all of you. We are appealing to all of you out there in Europe, in the USA, wherever that Roku works, you will get or receive ABS. Now, I just need to remind you, ABS is broadcasting, ladies and gentlemen, 24/7. 24/7. After we are done doing the live show, we are still broadcasting, bringing other news programs and documentaries, and sometimes movies too. Very, very educative programming. So that is that. Please download ABS. We look forward to getting at least 10,000 downloads. 10,000 downloads. If you can support ABS financially, please, at least if you have Roku, download it. It's going to benefit ABS eventually when we hit up to 10,000 downloads. When we hit up to 10,000 downloads, it will benefit it. So please, if you can't support, if you live in an area you cannot support ABS, downloading that app, even if you will not watch it, but just downloading it makes a lot of sense to us. Thank you for doing so. Now I will take you to the moment of the day, and I will start with some of the footages that I like you to see. And remember, today we are talking about the new battlefront that we call Nomore Mercy. No more mercy for blacklegs and enablers. No more mercy for blacklegs and enablers. Now, there are a number of categories of blacklegs and enablers. I'm going to bring you those different categories. But one mighty area that I like us to look at today, focus on today, are these so-called cultural and development associations that we have all over Ambazonia. In fact, every little village has a cultural and development association in Ambazonia. Every little village, even if that village is made up of 20 people, they have a cultural and development association. The problem is that these cultural and development associations, they did actually serve the people at a point in time. But today, this time, it is not one of those times. And I will explain to you why. Please take a look at this. I'd like you to look at this, listen to this.
Guti and Tombo converge in Bangem for an enlarged Kupe Moninguba Chiefs Conference meeting.
Had a review of the activities, specifically our continuous quest for peace, continue to contribute in the economic and social development.
The event, massively attended by CPDM party supporters, MPs, and elite, led by the head of state special envoy, the Minister Deputy Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic, Elon Polche, was to present to the public the project for the rehabilitation and tarring of the 55-kilometer Bangem-Guti road.
Guti, from the creation of the division, is not connected to Bangem, the divisional head town. So this is an opportunity. So I just came to inform the people that the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya, has approved the construction of the Bangem-Guti road. This project, which is very important for the socio-economic development of the Kupe Maninguba division.
The chiefs, elite, and the population of Kupe Maninguba at large joined their voices to that of Minister Elon Polche in expressing gratitude to President Paul Biya.
It has been our cry for too long, and we are very, very happy to see that the President has had his ears to the ground and he had his eyes on the way, so he was actually aware of the problem we thought were abandoned. Now we realize that he was actually aware and he has started taking actions. From the promise that the road will be constructed, our own duty now is to make sure that everything back in the field is ready for the project to start.
This area we're talking about, the Bangem-Guti route, where the Bajo people, the Mbumut people come from, is a basin for development, economic development of the Bangem subdivision. The cocoa, the coffee, the plantains, and everything comes from there. But this has been the most enclosed area, but being the development basket for Bangem subdivision. We cannot, in short, in little words, express our delight what transformation will bring to the whole Kupe Moninguba division. Today we are linking two divisions which were cut by road. Even bikes could not go through. It means that cocoa, coffee, and even basic cash crops could not live the people. Poverty will be reduced. It's a major step. Other development
Oh, my. All right, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen. My microphone was muted. But I was saying, again, here they come. These faces you see here, the Chief Atem Ebako and the rest that you see there, these are bootlickers hanging in corridors in Yaoundé, begging for the crumbs that fall off their tables. And when they want to fool you in your local communities, they send them to come and tell you, Paul Biya has promised a road. Yes, Paul Biya, he has promised a road that will link our town's ring. Come on. For how long does the head of state promise us roads? Is it the first time we are hearing of roads in Nguti, in Tombe, in Bangam, in Kupe, Manunguba as a whole? How about Mbonge Road, Kumbai, Mbonge Road, Kumbai, Kondo Titi Road? What happened to that? We don't even have a road that link their damn country to Bamenda. In these fools, they come down to your villages, to our communities, and they tell you the head of state. Which head of state? The living corpse that were found on television the other day? Ladies and gentlemen, which head of state? Anybody listening to this leak bookers, what cronies from lot of people to Cameroon and Coupe Manugube, you don't know what you are doing. But that goes back to my main point. The point of the so-called cultural and development associations led by the faces that you see on your screen. They are all over the place. They are all over the place. And they are sent to deceive and to spy on all of us. Now listen to this one. Listen to this other audio here from Paul Atanganji.
So you can look at what is happening in the bushes. Look at what Cameroonians, the torture given to our children because of the terrorists. Look at the magnitude of violence. Look at the magnitude of violence done to our children by the terrorists. We cannot accept things like that. So the defense forces are here to protect the local population against atrocities like this. And we expect the NGOs to denounce these terrorist activities. But because they have received...
Mr. Paul Atanganji, sir, the head of state has carried out more violence on those children that you are talking about there, more than the separatists and the terrorists that you're referring to. If you think that you will use that to placate anyone to turn their backs on the wall and come after you, you are wasting your time. But again, this is one of the ways, the methods by which they set up spies to monitor your activities, especially on ground zero. Now, we have seen this in Ingi. We saw that in Ingi about 3 months or so ago. That was in Ingi. Ladies and gentlemen, Ingi Cultural and Development Association. Ingi Cultural and Development Association. They use IDPs. They use schools. They use hospitals. We need to open up the hospitals. We need to open up the schools. We need to open, they try to use these schools and hospitals, infrastructure to destroy the war effort that we are carrying out against La République du Cameroon. It's not only happening there. Now let me come to the case of Le BLM, ladies and gentlemen. I reported to you last Wednesday or so, that Le BLM LGA had a meeting, a general assembly, called for a general assembly meeting last Sunday, they called for a General Assembly meeting last Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, and came up with a number of resolutions, the most important of which banning the activities of what they call LECUDO. LECUDO stands for Leban Cultural and Development Association or Organization. Now, Leban Cultural Development Organization, Leban stands for Fontem. Essentially, Fontem is Leban. All of Fontem, with the exception of a little part, is all Leban. But you can say that all of Fontem is Leban. It's a fact. And so, now, Fontem is the biggest LGA in all of the BLM. Of course, that is where Menji, the capital, is based. A few days after they killed Field Marshal, and I mean it, when I say they killed Field Marshal, I mean they killed Field Marshal. These so-called Cultural and Development Association people of Leban, of Fontem, they killed Field Marshal. And do not forget, I told you the other day, we know all of them. I have their names. I have the names of those who paid the money. And I know those who they sent to carry out the deed. I'm going to call their names before possibly August the 13th. I will bring you their names. Money came from the United States, got to ground zero in Yaoundé. They added some. The money was paid to the killers last Monday. The killers went to Yaoundé, collected the money last Monday. One of them has actually bought a car. One of them has bought a car. So I know exactly what I am talking about when I say LECUDO, Leban Cultural and Development Organization. They put down the money that killed Field Marshal of Amazonia, and they can confront me, and I will tell them exactly who did it amongst them. So, but they, after killing Field Marshal, as hurtful as it was for all of us, everybody in Amazonia, ladies and gentlemen, they were out celebrating. And I'm going to show you, look at this image. They were out celebrating the very next day. I think 2 days after, they were celebrating in Menji that Field Marshal was gone. Look at that.
Menji, you can see all the priests are so happy. You can see all the priests are happy. You can know all the priests. You can see a lot of jubilation today in Menji. Everybody is so happy. You can see the jubilation in the Maraboli Center, at the entrance of the Maraboli Center. We are so happy. Everybody is so happy. Everyone is so happy. You can see, oh, Father. You can see Faragebo. This himself here. That's this. You can see all fathers. You can see. Oh, Father. This is interesting. Oh, I see. You can see. Wow. All of them. All the priests, the arrival of the priests. This is exactly what I've been telling you.
Amen and amen.
Amen.
As we talk so, Europe is here.
Yes.
2 days ago, we played WhatsApp Facebook. Yes. Until when it happened now, they went low.
Oh, please. You can see.
We will talk about the war reach today. Then now, what you see, we're glad we go.
Good.
Then I will sit down to welcome them. My way never know, my way never know. Today you go know. My way never know, my way never know. Today you go know. Ayo, oh, ayo, oh, ayo. Today you go know. Ayo,
There is a great joy today in Fontem, the arrival of all the priests in the Maropo Center. They have the Thanksgiving Mass tomorrow, as we had earlier told you. People said they were going to see before they believe. So people did not take us serious. But that's the truth. You can see the priests dancing. You can see all the priests dancing, but they were
going to see before they believe. People said they were going to see before they believe. And of course, they saw it. They saw it in the killing of Field Marshal. They saw it in the killing of Field Marshal, ladies and gentlemen. That was in a little, the outskirts of Menji, called Invo, I think at Mariapolis, where you have Seat of Wisdom College, Fontaine. From nowhere, these people showed up in numbers. They said it was a celebration of their new Reverend Fathers. Of course, it couldn't have been a coincidence. And Lekudo confirmed that it was not a coincidence. In a letter, a press statement that they put out right after this event, ladies and gentlemen, but they were celebrating, they were happy Field Marshal was gone. But that was not only that wasn't the only thing that they were celebrating. It was a sort of mockery. You know what happened? The very next day, Field Marshal was killed on July the 12th. On July the 13th, ladies and gentlemen, they sent children, they paid people to go clear the grass in the GHS, so-called government high school in Menji. They sent people to go clearing it, and I will show you the pictures. Those are the pictures, ladies and gentlemen. That is, you can see, that is government high school Menji. They send people to go and clear it. This happened on the 13th when they had killed Field Marshal on the 12th. So, you can see the images there coming from Menji, of course. That is it. Government high school for them. Grass was being cut the very next day that Field Marshal was killed. Thank God the Red Dragons went there and they ran with their dear lives. They escaped with their dear lives. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is very, very important. We are not seeing this only in Lebialem alone. We are seeing this taking place all over Ambazonia. The new strategy that La Republic has put in place is to use the schools. Remember, September is coming, and their plan is to have every school open up in Ambazonia. They want normality. You know, ladies and gentlemen, when schools open up, normality has resumed. The war is over. That is the plan that La Republic of Cameroon has set out. And guess who they want to use to achieve this? The Cultural and Development Association. They come to you. We don't want our people suffering out there. They don't have food. Their children are not going to school. We want to help all of them. In fact, in Menji, I heard them saying that they're going to, the first 200 students to enroll in GHS Menji, they will give them tuition free and free books. They will have books. All of their books will be supplied free. They will have to pay no school fee. And they are doing this all over the place. But their own children will not be there. Their own children are not going back anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. They are fooling the ignorant, naive people to send home, to move back home, send their children to school. Then the DOs can come back, the divisional delegates can come back, the police, the gendarmes, they can come back, and then the contracts, you know, they have to fix roads, right? They have to build new infrastructure, right? War has destroyed a lot of things, right? It's a money-making business that all these so-called elite are running after. Fellow Ambazonians, listen to the sound of my voice. It is not about the people. It is about their bellies. It is about what they get. It is about what they pocket. It is about profit. It is about profit. That is what going back, opening up is all about. So let me read to you. Let me bring to you a letter that Lekudo sent out, to which Fontaine LGA had a General Assembly meeting last Sunday and replied. This is what Lekudo wrote. The leadership of Lekudo wishes to announce that as a cultural and development platform for Leban, we have for more than 3 years, they have been working for 3 years to kill Field Marshal. Now listen to them. They didn't say this. That is my own paraphrasing now. But let me read their exact words here. He says, we have for more than 3 years today been discussing and consulting people of goodwill and stakeholders on the absolute necessity to resume normal life. Listen to that. Underline that. To resume normal life-sustaining activities within our homeland, within Fontaine Demin. The latest of these consultations was the audience a Lekudo-led delegation had with His Lordship Bishop Aloysius Fondong, Chief Shepherd of the Catholic Diocese of Manfe. Now, this is what these guys are doing. They are using the Catholic Church as a proxy. They are using the Catholic Church, employing the Catholic Church as a proxy, so that we will say, you know, it's a church. It's a church. Why not allow the church to do what it has to do? The church doesn't harm anybody. The church is praying for people. The church is taking care of people. The church. Be very, very watchful. And here, let's not make a mistake. It is not just the church. It is the Catholic Church. It is the Catholic Church, ladies and gentlemen. Their statement continues. The audience took place about a fortnight ago. Our mission was to discuss the effective resumption of schools and church activities in different parishes in Fontaine subdivision, they say. Monsignor Aloysius perceptibly was passionate and deeply concerned about the issues tabled to him. Namely, number one, the need to reopen Seat of Wisdom College, Fontaine, and Catholic primary schools in the subdivision. Number two, the need to relaunch evangelical and pastoral activities in St. Clair Parish, Menji. We are waiting for you there. Number three, the need for His Lordship to say a Thanksgiving Mass at the said parish. In his response, the bishop acknowledged the dire need to meet the request of his flock, but expressed concern about security challenges in the whole subdivision. He, however, reiterated, among other issues, one, that he had already assigned a preach each to Lewo and Menji parishes. In other words, the Catholic Church is already carrying on this agenda of opening up Fontaine, ladies and gentlemen, the Catholic Church. Well, number two, you say that he would likely assign a third priest to the subdivision depending on reports he might obtain from the field. That the Catholic Church, the Catholic primary school in Menji would go operational at school resumption in September, and that the Seat of Wisdom College Fontaine would not go operational in September yet. This communique simply highlights some of the salient issues discussed with His Lordship, they say, but further seeks to emphasize the fact that Lekudo and all the people of goodwill, listen to that, the people of goodwill were within Leban had been nursing the plan to resume school before the demise of the Ambazonian freedom fighter FM. Now, these are their words, not my words. They have been planning this before the killing of, they said, dear Ambazonia, not our Ambazonia, but no, when they say the killing, now let me get it. It says they have been nursing the plan to resume school before the demise of the Ambazonia. You know, Ambazonia does not belong to them. They are not part of Ambazonia per the way they put it here. Per the way they put it here, before the demise of the Ambazonia freedom fighter, Field Marshal. That school resumption in our homeland will commence and proceed gradually and steadily, beginning most probably with Catholic primary schools. That Lekudo, in collaboration with its chapters worldwide, will continue to consult all the stakeholders, notably, now listen to this carefully, ladies and gentlemen, who they refer to as stakeholders. Lekudo, in collaboration with its chapters worldwide, will continue to consult all the stakeholders, notably the local administration. Notably, who are the stakeholders? The local administration. To do what? To ensure that normal life activities resume in Fontem subdivision as a whole. That came from Lekudo, Leban Cultural and Development Organization. You can also call it Fontem Cultural and Development Organization. That press statement came from them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you should not forget this. The BLM County in this war crusade remains the only county that we can say we have on our column. It is the only county in which no Laroplidu Cameroon administrator lives. Apart from their occupying soldiers, they don't have DOs there. They don't have government delegates or mayors there. They don't have even teachers there. They don't have divisional delegates of this, of that, agriculture, education, sports, this. They have none, zero living there. Essentially, all of La République du Cameroon administrators are out, have been driven out of the BLM. And guess who Lekudo wants to come, return, and take over their administrators? La République du Cameroon administrators. Lekudo is saying, we have taken 70 steps ahead. Let us take let us take 50 steps behind. Let us take 50 steps, if not 100 steps behind. That is what they are saying. It is in view of that Fontem Local Government General Assembly holding last Sunday put out this press statement, and let me read it quickly to you. It's a little bit about 2 pages here, but I will try to read it as quicker as possible and in a way that you can understand. Lekudo activities ban in Fontem AGA. A group calling itself, quote, Leadership of Lekudo recently issued a communique revealing that as a cultural and development platform for Leban or Fontem, quote, it has, quote, for the past 3 years been discussing and consulting people of goodwill and stakeholders on the absolute necessity to resume normal life sustaining activities within our homeland. And they added, in a quote, the latest of these consultations was with a Lekudo-led delegation. Was the one that a Lekudo-led delegation had with Bishop Aloysius Fondong, the chief shepherd of the Catholic Diocese of Manfe. Now, let me move forward. The communique concludes, the Lekudo communique concludes by stating that, and I quote, Lekudo is in collaboration with its chapters worldwide, will continue to consult all the stakeholders, notably the local administration, to ensure that normal life activities resume in Fontem. Let me move forward. What does that communique reveal? What does Lekudo communique reveal? Number one, the communique unequivocally makes public the fact that Lekudo has been infiltrated Just like every other cultural and development organization in Ambazonia, Likudo has been infiltrated, has been hijacked, and used as a conduit for the execution of the war efforts of La République du Cameroon in Libya as a whole, particularly Fontaine local government area. The communique displays the determination to intensify its support for the war efforts of La République du Cameroon. Notably, they say in consultation, and I quote, all stakeholders, notably the local administration. So the local administration in Menji are stakeholders for, Likudo. Think about that. Think about that. The local administration stakeholders for Likudo, not the people of Lebialem, no. Not the people of Menji or Fontaine or Lebang, but the local administration talking about La République du Cameroon colonial officials. Now let me just read the decision taken by the BLM, Fontaine LGA General Assembly. The communique further states that Lekudo and people of goodwill within Lebang have been nursing the plan to resume school before the demise of the Ambazonian freedom fighter field marshal. By this, the communique links the actions of Lekudo, its stakeholders and persons of goodwill to the assassination of Field Marshal of Ambazonia. This linkage clearly puts the said assassination within the perspective of the collaborative war efforts which have gone for over 3 years. 3 years by persons using the Likudo platform, as the communique itself states. In view of this, Fontaine LGA members say, why waiting for Likudo to redeem itself and keep to its laudable founding objective? We members of Fontaine LGA sitting in the General Assembly meeting on Sunday, July the 24th, in the evening, unanimously agreed that Likudo in its present composition is banned from operating or carrying out any activities in all of Fontaine local government area, or call it Lebang if you like, until the war is over. Accordingly, anyone found attempting any business or activities in Fontaine on behalf of Likudo will be used to set an example for others. However, the statement says Likudo is allowed and encouraged to carry out unrestricted humanitarian outreaches to the internally displaced Fontaine people, both at home and in La République du Cameroon, like Chang, Bafoussam, Kumba, Douala, Yaoundé, etc. Not forgetting our refugees in Nigeria and detainees in the many La République du Cameroon prison centers. This is the one most needful thing in a war situation, and Likudo can take up that. The Catholic Church is banned from conducting Sunday services. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. The Catholic Church banned from conducting Sunday services anywhere in Menji. It is also forbidden from starting any of its primary schools or any of the activities listed in this communique until it disassociates itself from the content of the murderous, treacherous scheme described in this Likudo communique and proves its neutrality. The BLM restoration fighters, the Red Dragons, are charged with the strict enforcement of this ban and instructions. Those who contravene shall have themselves to blame. So that is it. That is a statement coming from Fontaine Local Government Area General Assembly meeting last Friday. I am really hoping that every LGA or county in this struggle that mean business will follow the example of Fontaine Local Government Area and pass a ban on every cultural and development association operating in Ambazonia at the moment, because is a beehive, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beehive for spies. Spies sent into our midst from La Republic to Cameroon. You sit in your meetings, in your LGAs, and you are discussing what will happen, the project, the targets to be confronted, and they are seated there smiling with you, laughing with you. They put in their dollars, their dimes, and they want you to believe they are with you, but they belong to these cultural and development organizations. They sneak out, take the message out, and before you know, your executors will go out to carry out these actions, are picked up, and they are killed. You are wondering how it happened. They say they care for IDPs. They care for the condition of the people. If you care for the condition of the people, the only thing you can do to help your people is to demand. Put a demand. If you are not cowards, put a demand out there to the regime in Yaoundé to take out their soldiers out of our communities. They are not invited. They were not invited. The people left your communities, not because Amber Boys, as they call them, put them out. They left when La Republique du Cameroon soldiers came in, burning down our settlements, killing our people. Over 40,000 of them have been killed, and over 400 settlements grounded, burned down. You are there running your mouth, telling people, let's go and open schools. Who is building those schools? Who is building the schools? La Republique du Cameroon? Money from Paul Atanganji or from Paul Tassom? Where is reconstruction money? And where is reconstruction, by the way? You are pushing people to go to the war zone and die. Where I pray your own children go there first. Please, if you're listening to the sound of my voice on Ground Zero, they want you to take your children back to any locality in Ambazonia. Tell them to go there first, and you will follow. Yes, let them get there first and tell them you will follow them. I wish I had more time to really take on this, but let me bring my panel in. I'm so sorry that I kept you waiting for so long. Let me start here with the Vice Chairman of the Restoration Council. Again, I'm joined by the Vice Chairman of the Restoration Council, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Chris Ajua, and the Honorable Chris Ajua happened to come from the BLM Fontem local government precisely, and he happened to have been in this meeting where these resolutions were arrived at. Honorable Chris Ajua, sir, but this is not a BLM problem. This is not a Fontem problem. It is Ingi problem. I saw in the social media yesterday people demonstrating in their numbers in Fundong. They said they were chasing the separatist fighters. We have seen it in Ingi, where the so-called Ingi Cultural and Development Association, they come together. They want the IDPs to go back. They care about the IDPs. Why the IDPs will go back, their own families will not go back. They want the IDPs to go live, have no homes to live in, have no food to eat. They would have sent them back home, but collect their contract money from La Republique du Cameroon and said the job is done and life is back. I have called this a new battlefront. A new battlefront in this war. Tell me, sir, if I'm wrong.
Secretary Chris, thank you very much for this opportunity. Definitely, you are not wrong. But before I continue, I would like to thank you for your service to Ambazonia. We Ambazonians send our sympathies and condolences to you and your family that has paid the price, and of course your brother paid the ultimate price for our freedom and our liberty. So we have him, all of Ambazonia have him in mind. And just to go a little bit into some certain things that happened just after he died. As you know, his body was paraded. That in itself is a crime. And of course, French Cameroon does not know anything that has to do with law and order. And they paraded his body at a location called it's called either Bisek or Bisik Junction. Let me remind all Ambazonians that that so-called Bisik or Bisek, originally there was a bank at that location. It was called Barclays Bank. Barclays Bank is a multinational financial and banking system. It used to be in the former British Southern Cameroons. But what happened? As in many cases, French Cameroon destroyed our infrastructure, everything that we had, including that bank. They destroyed even things like, as you know, international airport. I'm glad that earlier you talked about people like President Kwame Nkrumah coming to Southern Cameroons.
Right.
When I was little, I used to go to Tico Airport and watch planes land. I personally watched Nigeria Airways come to Tico International Airport. I watched Ghanaian Airways aircraft. We're talking aircraft with 4 engines landing and taking off at Tico. Those are just some of the things that the kind of the things that French Cameroon has done to our people. And there has never, I mean, when I'm talking about the destruction that they have caused us to lose until now. And let me go back to your question about the meeting that we had. About that meeting, the decisions that were taken, I think no decisions are taken based on the fact that everything that Lukudo is doing right now is being on the wrong side of history, totally on the wrong side of history. Essentially, the most damaging part of it is this idea of bringing things to normal. When they talk about normalcy and they talk about, they mention stuff like the administrators. What they are talking about is bringing French Cameroon administration back, whether from the military side or the civilian side. We're talking about their their DOs, their court systems, and their state attorneys. They are talking about everything that has to do with running the county, and of course the LGAs to go back to normal. Essentially, they are actually giving up. That is another way of saying we are giving up to French Cameroon. To when you say you are bringing things to normal, it's like saying, okay, the war is over, everything is now normal. We're going back to where it was. So it's essentially it's surrendering. They are simply saying we surrender to French Cameroon. That's essentially what they are saying. But Amazonia will never surrender, because we have vowed that we will fight even up to the last man or woman standing. So that is what is happening right now. let me mention a few things also, according to the response that that the General Assembly gave. We know the role that the Bishop Fondong is playing in this whole matter. It really it puzzles me, and I cannot understand why the church that is supposed to be the epitome of all virtues, leading people and countries, why they do this stuff. They do things that are not for the benefit of the people, and it might not even surprise some people if you look back into history and you go into something like the Second World War, for example, in Germany, when Germany was joined with Italy and Japan, and they were fighting the Allies during the Second World War. Guess who was with Adolf Hitler? It was the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church was with Adolf Hitler when the Jews were being massacred, when that genocide was taking place in Germany against the Jews. The Catholic Church was with them. So the Catholic Church was on the wrong side of history, and you come to the war in southern Cameroon and Bazonia, the Catholic Church is again on the wrong side of history.
Thank
So
you. Thank you. Let me get to Dr. Atienjo. Dr. Atienjo, you are coming from a community, Ingi community, that I think I would say let the example of these cultural and development organizations coming in, spying on us and using schools and the IDPs to try to open up, they call it, that's the word they use, open up Ambazonia. Please tell us what is happening in the Ingi.
Secretary Chris, thank you for having me on board today. It's been a while. I've not come to ABS. Yes, I'm so delighted that I'm here today to talk about the new front that we have to fight in this our struggle, which is the enablers and all those who are killing us and selling all the information we have. Also wish to take this opportunity to relay my condolence for the loss of Ambazonia, the greatest fighter we have ever had in this revolution. Field Marshal the King was the stronghold that every Ambazonian was proud of. Knowing that, even if we were to fight this revolution for the next 100 years, everyone knew that Field Marshal is the king and he is the person for our revolution. So it's really very sad to know that things like this have happened in our revolution, and they have brought us to this position where we are talking about his demise today. However, Ngi Cultural and Development Association is known as NCADA, and for last about 3 months ago, they had a general assembly which was called by the president. And the intentions of this meeting was about trying to see how they could make some kind of contributions in order to feed the refugees. But later on, it was discovered that the composition of this meeting constituted a safe haven for gullible politicians, CPDM blacklegs, as well as boardlickers, who would not stop at anything but to bring mayhem to our people in their own way, in a very, very heinous way. These are people who sit in cultural and development administrations and plan for the death of our boys on the ground. So as you can see, I'm being reminded here, Secretary Chris, it looks like you selected all these, but all the people you are showing here, these are key board leakers and CPM elites who have sold their souls and do not have any bit of concern when it comes to our IDPs. Why can they not arrange and go and feed the IDPs that are suffering and dying in Douala? Why can they not arrange and feed the IDPs that are suffering in Yaoundé? Why can they not go to other cities? And all they do is to make collect a few amount, some few goods, send them to Ngi, and lure people to come to Ngi, that they should come and share these things that they have given to them. And they go and sing praises to a walking dirt man who calls himself the president. I don't even know if he knows that he's the president. All right, now, to be sincere with you. So some of these things, this is what is happening. These are diabolic individuals who have decided to swell their pockets with goodies that they pick from the corridors of Yaoundé, and then they go to the population, the local population, give them some few francs and a few loaves of soap, and then cajole them to sit and represent their interests on the ground and claiming that they are doing something. There's something I would like to say here, Secretary Chris. Our people are being brainwashed. We are in a developed world where we are enjoying. Normally, if you go in every area where development is about to take place, the first thing that goes to that area is water. The second thing that goes to that area is roads. The third is electricity. And all these amenities are made available in areas. And then also you have schools, you have hospitals. But our people have been brainwashed to think that these are basic necessities that needs to be given by the government. This is completely what we call brainwashing of the people. How on earth would you believe that electricity to a place is a gift from the government? Water, pipe-borne water is from the government, schools from the government. All this, they use cultural and development associations to brainwash our people. And we must educate our people to understand that it is their own right to have schools. It is their own right to have hospitals. It is their own right to have water. It's their own right to have water, roads, and everything that they need in order to survive. Maslow hierarchy, levels of hierarchy shows that those basic necessities are those that will provide survival to humanity. And these things you don't need to beg them. You don't need to sit and somebody comes and tells you that I have gone and brought them to you. No, these are basic necessities that we need to have. So, as of the case of Ngi, and I see that the Culture and Development Association has actually developed wings, which I would like to say here, and it is happening in the entire Amazonia and also Cameroon, La Republic. You see, they have seen that their agenda is not working, coming together as a cultural development association. Now they have now impressed some of the youths to come up with some ideas that they want to form youth groups that would actually muster development in these areas. To tell you the truth, I mean, this is complete. It's unacceptable for people to sit and keep on manipulating our populations all the time. Our people are suffering. We need to hasten this revolution to a logical end. We need to get to Boya and bring freedom and bring peace to our people. And if these people stand in the way, I believe that we have to take them and consider them enemies and fight them with the full force that we have in order to keep Amazonian struggle alive. The Culture and Development Association is no more, to the best of my knowledge, after the sham that was held in Bamenda, nothing has been held again. And I do not think that they have any reason to meet again because the agenda of that meeting was aborted and the meeting was hijacked by these political bigots who came out there to deceive the population. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me get to the two defense chiefs that we have in the house. We have Bishop John. We have also Secretary of State Reverend Asong. And let me start with Bishop John. Bishop John, I know you have been, it appears that Bishop John is frozen and no longer with us. So let me turn to Reverend Asong. Reverend Asong, great to have you, ma'am. I read the other day somebody put out there in the social media that you promised to fight blacklegs and fight all these enablers. They are yet to see anything happening. What would be your response to those people? Yeah, not much is happening yet, but what are the plans? We call it a new battlefront. I think we have to give as much a priority to them as we do to La République du Cameroon, isn't it? Because La République du Cameroon enemies or fighters, we'll see. We can see them. But these enablers and blacklegs, we do not see them. They are most dangerous. What are we going to do?
Thank you, Secretary Chris, for having me. Greetings to all Amazonians. Can you hear me, please?
I can hear you 5-on-5.
Thank you. I would just like to ensure Amazonians that cleaning the house is a work in progress. We are not going to relent on that. We are working so hard to make sure that those blacklegs are being taken care of. In the days ahead, I think a lot of you will see the result. The problem we are having here is that some Amazonians are so weak hearted that Whenever they pick up their person that is a blackleg, they will start calling to give one reason or the other as what should be done and what not should be done, or reasons why the blackleg did what they did, or it's a lie. But we've tried to understand that we are all Amazonians, but we believe that if we keep doing what some of you want us to do, we'll never get to Boya. So, as from now henceforth, from the death of FMA the king, we've seen that there is no more mercy for any blacklegs. From now henceforth, we're going to go the hard way, and we're going to do just that. We can assure you, be patient. Some are reaching out and asking what is going on, Reverend Atson, but it's a work in progress. We'll get there. All of you should be patient. We are going to clean the house as fast as possible. It's not easy, but we need everybody to collaborate to make sure that we get these things done as fast as possible. That's the only way we can get this independent. You see that the blacklegs, the numbers are increasing on a daily basis. La Republique is spending all the little money they have from our resources to make sure they give bread and sardine to our own people so that they can continue to do the work of the blacklegs. But be rest assured that in the days ahead, we're going to clean the house as fast as possible. We just want to warn all those cultural and development associations that are working tirelessly for their personal benefits and personal gains that the days ahead is not guaranteed. For anybody that is trying to make sure that their community go back to normalcy, when we are fighting this revolution to make sure we have our independence so we can dictate our children's future, not colonial invaders dictating our children's future, we're giving you a strong warning that all those cultural and development associations are bound in Amazonia. And we're not going to take it lightly for any association that will violate the law of the land. If you're trying to open up schools, it means you are working for La Republique. It means you are enemies to our independence. And we're not going to take that lightly. You are warned. We are not going to warn you again. If you want to try it, you can go ahead and try it. For those of you from the BLM that you call yourself the elite, Lekudu or Lebam or whatever you address yourself, we are not going to take it lightly. Your 3 years plan has come to manifestation by killing the icon of the Ambazonia Revolution. And because of that, we are going to do everything possible for those of you elite that are working for La République du Cameroon. Even after the independence, we'll make sure some of you will never enter the BLM County. You can call yourself elite, you can call yourself youth, you can call yourself Cultural and Development Association. But we've taken notes of all of you that planned for the assassination of Field Marshal, the King of Amazonia, the only icon that God brought into the revolution, the only hero that God brought to the BLM people. You decided to kill your own and hand the corpse to the enemies. We consider all of you as enemies of the Amazonia Revolution. And in the days ahead, even after 20 years, if it will take us 20 years to have this independence, we consider all of you elite, the chiefs, the funds of the BLM, especially those from Fontem that mastermind the killing of FMA the king, the only son of the BLM that God used to transform the revolution of Amazonia, the only son of the BLM that God gave the talent to produce us Lefangse and Asumanyi and Kange. The Leban people decided to mastermind his killing because of their personal gains and interests. We can assure you people that you are enemies to all Amazonians. From henceforth, wherever, whenever we get this independent, you all will be enemies to Amazonians. You will never step your feet. And those of you funds, let me send this warning to you. If you think because FMA is dead, you are going to return back to your palaces, I can assure you that you will regret if you take such decisions and go back to your palace. Even if the Red Dragons are not going to do it, know that you have hurt all Amazonians, 8 million Amazonians. You thought FMA was just for the BLM people? Try it and go back to your palaces, and then you'll see what happened. We can assure you that the BLM cannot go back to normalcy. Even if the fighters in the BLM are being bribed, we are going to bring Amazonians into the BLM to make sure they make the BLM ungovernable. That is our mission, and nobody can stop it. We're going to have this independent, whether some of you like it or not. And then some of you say that FMA chased you out of your palaces. That is a lie. You abandon your people. You ran away because of your personal interests and gains and greed. And you turn around and said FMA, the king, drove you out of your palaces. May the Lord judge all of you, but I can assure you that though you are happy and you're celebrating, for those that will temper to open schools in the BLM County, you will not like what will happen to you. For those that will temper to send their kids to school in the BLM County, the Catholic Church is supposed to be there to protect the people that God has given to you people to preach unity, love, and transformation of the mind. You are busy conspiring with the enemies to kill our people. If you dare open your schools, we'll consider you as enemies of our progress. And we're not going to take it lightly. We're
All right.
warning you for the very last time. You
All
are
right.
banned in the BLM County. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Asom. Let me go back to Honorable Chris Ajua. We all know what is happening here, what La Republique is trying to do here. This agenda is happening in all the LGAs, all the counties, because La Republique wants the world to know desperately that not just in the inner cities and towns is life going on, because the bulk of Amazonia lives in the rural area. These LGAs, when nothing is going on there, for as long as nothing is going on there, you can say, yes, war is on. If they should succeed to get normal live activities, as Likudo calls it, going back on in these localities, La Republic has won this war. Am I wrong? Honorable Chris Ajua.
Yes, Secretary Chris, before I come to that part of your question dealing with how La Republique will look at the situation on the ground to declare that they have won the war, I want to go back to a few things that we talked earlier. And I'm going to start by referring one to something that Dr. Atienjo mentioned about services or help to people on the ground. We are talking our IDPs, we are talking about refugees, and anybody that needs, our people that need humanitarian help, even on ground zero. Lukudo can do that. They can do that, and they can do it well. But that backdoor tactic that they are trying to use to destroy their secret agenda is to destroy the revolution in not only Fontem LGA but in the BLM, and by extension the whole of Amazonia. We cannot let that stand. A few other items that I want to talk about before I come to La Republique consideration regarding situation on the ground is this. You have heard how in Kupe Mwanenguba they are deceiving people that the road is going to be dug from Bangam to Nguti.
Right.
How many times have Fontem LGA people, the BLM people heard the same story about roads being dug from Chang through Menchi all the way to Bakaba,
yes.
and it's going to be a four lane road and all that stuff. And during their fraudulent fake elections, they bring caterpillars. They bring caterpillars and come and put them at strategic locations in our counties. And then as soon as those their elections are over, they take the equipment away. And has there ever been any? Have they ever dug any road from Chang to Bakaba for how many years? 40 years, 50, 60 years? There is no such thing that they have done. And before I come back again to the view of French Cameroon with respect to international community, let me remind Ambazonians about something concerning also the Catholic Church. If you all have been listening to the news, the Pope Francis right now is in Canada apologizing for what the church did to call it the indigenous people of Canada or the people of Canada. He went there to apologize. But guess what? He did not apologize for the Catholic Church. His
Right.
apology was for Christians. Christians. And when you use that kind of language, is he referring to Anglican Christians? Christians, in other words, let us say Christians of the Church of England? Is he referring to Christians of the Methodist Church? Is he referring to Christians of the Presbyterian churches? What kind of Christians is he referring to? Why didn't he say very directly the Catholic Church? And then if you look again at what the Catholic Church is doing, these people like their bishops, they take their orders from Rome. Do you think the Catholic Church all the way to Rome does not have a hand in what is happening in Amazonia? They know what is happening. They could, if they wanted, they could stop this war, but they haven't done it. The Catholic Church has not done it. In other words, the work that they are supposed to do as followers or representatives of Christ on this earth, they are not doing that job. So they are also accountable not only to mankind, but they are accountable also to God. And let me go now to the issue you talked about, referring to French Cameroon wanting that things should go back to normal. Anybody who thinks like that has hit the nail on the head. They want everybody to say, "Oh, look at what is happening. We have our SDOs and our DOs and all our administrators. The schools have reopened. Everything is normal. The war is over." That is what they want to tell the international community, and that is what they want to declare. Rather than go to the negotiations table and get the matter resolved at the international level, and everybody signs the document and say, okay, now there is some kind of justice has been done and therefore peace can return. No, they don't want to do that. They want to impose their solutions on Ambazonians, and that is exactly what Ambazonians reject. Any solution that's solely from French Cameroon is and will always be rejected 100%. If a solution does not, let me repeat, solution does not come from the international community, a solution that brings a justice to Ambazonia, that solution will be rejected. Thank you, Secretary Chris, and thanks
Thank
also
you,
to the
sir.
panel.
Well put out there, Dr. Atienjo. I believe you have the same view. All this that we are hearing about schools, IDPs, and all these bootlickers coming from La Republic and telling us they care. It is all about giving Cameroon the victory that they have desperately been looking for since 2016.
Well, Secretary Chris, let me support what Honorable Ajwa has just said here. With this thing, this is what is happening in La Republique. They call the politicians and those like the section presidents, the councillors, mayors, parliamentarians to Yaoundé, and they talk to them about a developmental agenda, that they should propose developmental projects in their different localities, and they set them into a competition. You see, what is happening with Lekuda and happening in Fontem is the same thing that is happening in Kupe Maningoba, happening in Gi, happening in Bengui, Mekuda, Moramo, and everywhere, everywhere you can name it. These politicians have been sent back to their own constituencies to go and deceive people with promises. And these promises will be electrification, pipe-borne water, roads, and so forth and so on. And then once they go and deceive these populations, they come back and give a report to them. And what is happening is that the population, with all this hope that is never going to they're never going to experience, go back and start criticizing this revolution, saying, oh, we would have gotten a road, we would have gotten electricity, we would have gotten water, if not of this if not of the struggle, and put people in a position where they start criticizing and now they become enablers. That is, you indirectly involve them to play the role of enablers without even them knowing that they are doing. Because if you go to villages, you go to all these areas, you see people who are talking certain things about this revolution that they do not know anything about. So that is a trick that is triggered to all, is being spread to every area, so that the local populations are brainwashed to think that the government is out for them. The government has everything that they're going to give to them. The government, just listen to what happened with the Kupe Maningoba. One of the speakers said that they did not know that the president has been listening to them. Where is the president that is listening to them? The man we saw the other day on TV, is that the person listening to them? This is ridiculous. So that is what is happening. And if they succeed for these schools to resume, if they succeed to brainwash the populations, they will go back with the news. And they will go. That's why you see them going out with motion of support written by elites of different localities, saying that President Bobia is the only president they want in their life. They want him to run even after 2030. They want him to run after 2035, and so forth and so on. So the government of La Republic would say, yes, we have succeeded. But the thing is this: we are not going to sit here and watch them deceive our people. We have to declare, we are declaring a war against all enablers. If you call me up again, I'm going to come up here with we'll classify the enablers that we have. We have different categories of enablers in such a way that we have to be very careful. And if we are not, a lot of things are going to happen to us. And if we do not take care of these enablers, then this revolution is going to be at a standstill. These people are wicked, and we must clean the house in order for us to for our revolution to move forward. We keep on giving a reason for La Republic to celebrate every day, because enablers are selling us in every form. They kill our boys, they help in deceiving our people, they go around and cause mayhem, bring mayhem to our populations, people settling their own personal scores just because of their ties with La Republic. We need to put an end to this. And if we don't, then this revolution is not going anywhere. That is why this revolution needs a revolutionary leader. We do not have a country yet. We need to work as a revolution. We need to work as revolutionaries, and we have to to execute a revolutionary agenda for this revolution to get to where we want. My pastor in church preached about 3 weeks ago, Secretary Chris, that the reason why June 10th is or Juneteenth is celebrated in the United States. Slave trade was abolished. It was a year, I cannot give the year exactly, but it was in the month of January in the United States. And some of this is when Abraham Lincoln was the president. And some of these slave owners in Texas refused after the Congress of the United States voted to put a law. They took a law which was enacted that slave trade is abolished. Some of these individuals, because of their political gains or political connections, resisted in Texas. And one of these slave owners was a personal friend to the president of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. So he thought that resisting the Congress and being a major supporter or sponsor of the president of the United States, he was going to be kind of, pampered to stop it. So when June came, the Congress took another decision and said that in June, on the 19th of June, all those who resisted the decision of the Congress in January were going to be executed. Then this guy, the wife of this sponsor, came to Washington D.C. and pleaded with Abraham Lincoln that this is what you know. My husband has been your friend. My husband has been your the main sponsor of your political career. So please pardon him. He was stubborn, but please, he's ready to stop slavery. Abraham Lincoln sent him back and said, sent this lady back and said they should execute him. He was the first person who was executed. So what am I saying this? We have to be very firm with our decisions. Just like Reverend Hassan said here, we have to be firm. We have to launch a full war against enablers to make sure that they regret and they do not ever see this Amazonia that we are fighting for. Thank you. Your microphone. Your microphone.
You will agree that we have these enablers in different categories. We have those at the DDROs directly recruited by La République du Cameroon. We have those who are just sitting in the quarters everywhere in Amazonia who are seated there as spies. We have those who are also masquerading within these cultural and development associations, acting as contractors for La République du Cameroon. They are both very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Again, don't you agree that we have to pay the same level of attention and concern that we have on La République soldiers to these various groups? They are the ones who killed Field Marshal. 4 of them. They had left the Dragons like 3 to 4 years ago and got contracted by La République du Cameroon. First, they settled in the DDRO center in Boya. Then they moved them to Chang. And they will move down to LBLM once in a while. So they carry out their investigation until they were able to realize one of the boys in Field Marshal's camp was outside in the cocoa farm. And they went there and forcefully got him. 2 of them picked up, tied up, beaten, and they were about to shoot them. They didn't go to show them where Field Marshal was, and they had to carry them there. These were not Cameroon soldiers. Please, I hope those out there hear me. They were not Cameroon soldiers, 4 of them. In fact, when they got on the way, I think 4 other Cameroon soldiers, Bs, joined them. Altogether, 8 of them. But listen to this. Cameroon soldiers did not get to this. They were so afraid they couldn't get to the scene where Field Marshal, to the location, the camp where Field Marshal was, where they got him. When they got halfway along the way, they decided to stay behind. And only these 4 blacklegs and enablers went with their guns to the location of Field Marshal. Again, you are the Secretary of Defense. Amazonians want to hear from you that we will launch a vicious war upon them as much as we do on La République du Cameroon.
Thank you very much, Secretary Chris. We can assure all Amazonians that those enablers will never go scot-free. If we learn that one of them already bought a car and is driving in Cham, and the other one is planning to run away, travel to Europe, we're monitoring them closely. Those who did the job, they have their own price, and those who plan for the assassination for these 4 Red Dragons to do the killing, they too have their own price to pay. But we can assure Amazonians that we are following those killers closely and their planners as well. We have their names, those who did the killing. We have the names of those that contributed money and sent to Ground Zero for school resumption and all of that. We have those names as well. We are just taking our time, and at the right time, you guys will see result. But we want to tell all Ambazonians that this fight is not just for few of us that are leaders from the BLM. This fight is for all Ambazonians. We are challenging all Ambazonians that when you see these elites from the BLM that decided to pay money for FM to be killed, consider them as your enemies, because killing FM is killing the revolution. They know that the international community was so scared of FMA. Everybody knew about this revolution thanks to FM the King. A lot of generals and FMs tapped their inspiration from FMA the King, and for few Liberian people to decide for his assassination means they really want to kill the revolution. And we're not going to take it lightly. They might be celebrating, sharing the money that they collected from people like Paul Tasson, or you can name a few, all those funds of the BLM who claim that they were chased out. Please consider all of them as enemies of Ambazonia revolution. All the BLM funds are enablers. All the BLM chiefs are enablers. They are enemies to our independence, and we are not going to tolerate or allow them anywhere in Ambazonia when we get this independent. We are going to be serious about it for what they have done to this revolution, to pull us back if that's what they think, but we are not going to go back. We are going to revive ourselves. We're going to work stronger. We'll take it as a challenge for this revolution to make sure that FM assassins are brought to book, that this revolution comes to realization. Those that are working tirelessly with colonial slaves to make sure that we don't have this independent because of their personal gains and personal interests and their egos and greed, will make sure that they don't realize those interests. We'll make sure, we'll make their life more miserable. If you see them anywhere in Amazonia, please arrest them. If you see any of these funds anywhere in your gatherings, pick them up. We are saying this to all the ARF. All those funds from the BLM and those chiefs that said that FM chased them out of their palaces, why other funds are in their palaces and the war is going on, but they decided to run away, putting blame on FMA. If you see them anywhere, ARF, this is an assignment for all of you. You see them anywhere, though they are enemies of this Amazonia revolution. You pick them up and you know what to do. We're not just going to lie low. This is not something we expected from the people of the BLM, but they have done it and they are celebrating. But the thing is over, it's not over. Until they step into that land to bring normalcy, then they will know that Amazonians are really angry. And we're going to show them exactly what we are planning to do. We're not going to take it lightly. This is for all Amazonians as a whole. Let me remind the people of Kupem Waningua. In the days of Makiza, you can imagine what La République du Cameroon did to your people. And if you think because of Elon Paul, you're going to betray yourself, betray your dignity, and betray your inheritance because of the few crumbs of bread that Elon Paul is bringing to you people, I can assure you that you should think twice. I learned that some of you have done a lot of things, a lot of voodoos to scare the ARF. But in the days ahead, we'll be bringing people from all over Amazonia to make sure that normalcy does not return in Kupe Boningua. Let me tell you, when you are fighting for a just cause, the gods back you. If you are fighting for your personal gains, your gods and your juju will not back you. The days in the Makiza, Kupe Maninguba people, your juju was very active because you were fighting for your rightful independence. But trust me, for the Ambazonia revolution, if you think you are going to take side with those that killed your people in the days of Makiza because of your personal gains and because of Elon Paul, I can assure you that the juju will not work this time around. When the time comes, you will know that what I told you or what we told you was the right thing, and you will see for yourself. We are working. You might think we are quiet, but we are working. Plans are ongoing, and you will see the result. For those of you in Fako, we see everything that all of you are doing in Fako, Meme, and all the counties. We are just watching you people, but we are planning. Plans are going on. We will take a lot of you unaware. We are going to take a lot of you unaware. For those that think you have planted juju in all the 13 counties, I'm telling you that the God that we serve, that knows that we are fighting for our rightful independence, and those of you that are fighting for your personal benefit and for the inheritance of your children, those juju will fail you. I can guarantee you that for sure. Watch and you will see what happens in the days ahead. Thank you very much, Secretary Chris. God bless you.
All right. Thank you, ladies and lady and gentlemen there. Please, if you can, stay put for a second. Let us open the phone lines and get a few contributions from the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now open the phone lines, and many of you have the phone number out there already, so please go ahead, call in, and you have 1 minute for every caller to make a contribution. 1 minute for every caller to make a contribution. So there you go with the phone number out there. Let's see the first caller here from Ground Zero. Hello. Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, Secretary Chris, I can hear you.
Okay, where are you calling from, sir?
From Mesa.
From Mezam. Wonderful. And what is your contribution, sir? Quickly.
Yeah, I just wish to contribute on what all you and your panelists are saying about the issue of enablers.
Okay.
One thing I want of you take note of is that actions speak louder than words.
Correct.
You have spoken, but we need actions. They are the actions that will revitalize whatever thing you are saying up there. When you speak and act, next time when you speak, people adjust. Thank you.
Thank you. That is very, very legitimate. However, I like to add this. Nobody will leave the diaspora here, come to Ground Zero and do this work. Many of you in your neighborhoods on Ground Zero, you know some of these people. You live with them. They live next door to you. You can go after them before they destroy our destiny. You can do it. Yes, I employ every restoration fighter out there and every group in this struggle to make sure the fighters they say they own take up this assignment. But also don't forget, you can do it too. Let me get to the next caller here. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, calling from Bamenda, Mulang.
Mulang. All right, go on, sir. Go on. 1 minute.
Yes, I want to say that I'm very elated in this presentation. I'm one of those who have been crying and pleading that the front should be open against the enablers. And I key what the first caller just said: actions, enforcement. We can use assassins, we can use snipers, we can use agents and meet them where they are hiding in those francophone towns. We can meet them there and get rid of them. Anybody thinking that things are going to return to status quo in Amazonia should bring back more than 40,000 Amazonians killed, more than 400 villages burnt, and more than 1 million displaced and refugees. These enablers and refugees, let me tell you, Chris, once people are gotten rid of, you will see in a few months we win where Francophones have destroyed themselves. They are a destroyed race. They are just using this demon, this gain the world and lose your soul demons to continue to fight against Amazonia. But once we get rid of them, it is done. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right.
Congratulations to the panel.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's see who is next here. Ground Zero. Good. Hello. Seems to be a bad network here. It's not connecting. Let's see who next is on the line. Hello.
Hello, Brother Chris.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Mr. Chris.
Okay, thank you for the call. What is in your mind?
What is in my mind, because there is a situation those enablers are really doing in Mezam. Like this time, people are already confused of whether we are going to sit for a 1 month lockdown. So
there is no
lockdown.
There is, hold on. There is no 1 day lockdown, talk less of 1 month. I started this broadcast in educating people about that. There is no lockdown, not even
I just
a
want
single
to
day.
make sure that you people should try to send the message to go wider, because many people, just today I was around Mobinquen, but there were women rushing up and down thinking that there's going to be a lockdown. So I know that those enablers, they are trying to get a way to make people lose hope in the struggle.
Yeah, I get you. Please, you guys do whatever that you can, and sensitize the people. Let them know the interim government hasn't called for any lockdown. If they so enjoy the lockdown, they can do it. That is their business. But we have not, and we are not calling for one. Thank you for the call. All right. The phone line is open, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see who is next. Hello.
Oui, Secretary Chris, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from? Hello. Okay, that's a bad call. Let's get to the next caller here. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Secretary Chris, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Florida, Secretary Chris.
Oh, this is the voice of Chairman Mans.
You and your panel?
Thank you.
Yes, I am. Okay, Secretary Chris, we're talking about the blacklegs. Have we ever wondered why, since this revolution started, not even a single house of a Bamileke person has been burned down, even though the La Republique bees come and burn down houses of our parents, our sisters, our brothers, but they don't touch, they skip the house of the Bamileke people. In Bamenda, they were confiscating bikes, only bikes of non-Bamileke people. So we need to take care of the Bamileke people around amongst us. They are one of the worst sets of blacklegs also that we should not forget. They live with us, and they show the places where our boys are, and the La Republique give them protection. So we must take care of them also.
That is a good point, because, and you are very right, I have not seen a single Francophone business or person that is touched since this struggle started. Instead, again, we have over 400 settlements of our own burnt down, destroyed. We have our people living in their hundreds of thousands in foreign lands as refugees. No one's Francophone. Instead, you have Francophones benefiting from our pain. They are all coming to the USA claiming refugee status, going to Europe claiming refugee status over our pain. They want to be refugees. Let's give them pain, and they will have legitimate reason to be refugees anyway. Thank you for the call, sir.
Thank you.
All right. All right, let's see who is next here. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
From La Republique.
From La Republique. Okay, and what is your contribution?
Yeah, I have to come in today. I'm very sad here. I have to come in today because of the Kupema that you are talking about.
Yes.
I said to you to get to me. There is a lot that the people have confined to me.
Okay.
So I said we should discuss it out of here. I've texted you, you have not replied. But this is what I have to say to the people. I'm from that zone.
Okay.
This is what I have to say to the people. Since they are selling their own self because of road, I want to ask them this question. That road that they are constructing from Guti to Bange, is it Guti to Tombe? Is it Tombe to Kumba? Is it Tombe to Lum? Is it Tombe to Bange? Why are they selling their bed right because of a road? With the thousands of people that have been killed in our zone, they are still going behind. It's because we are not doing something, Secretary Chris, that we're supposed to do.
You are very right. We are very right. We have been very merciful on these people. All these La République du Cameroon agents masquerading as elite, as a cultural and development association members. We have to wage a war on them before they kill. Listen, Ambazonians. Listen, Ambazonians. I am not a prophet of doom. They killed Fee Measure of Ambazonia. We still have no pity alive. If we think that this is a joke and they succeed, the elites of Ngol Ketunjia and those in Bui, they succeed to get infiltrator to kill, no pity. I am telling you, this thing will be over. This thing will be over. And let these governments stand up and make sure that this job is executed. Go on, sir.
Yes, so we have to sit up. We have to sit up. I saw what you just showed on the screen. I could not imagine with what is in that region. That is where I'm coming from. What is in that region, the people are hailing this coward. They are hailing him.
Yeah.
We're going to talk after here. I said, get to me.
All right. Leave me a message and remind me that you are the one who called. And I will get back to you. Thank you for the call.
Thank you, Secretary Case. God bless you.
Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, hello?
Hello.
Yes, hello?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm calling from New York.
Okay, thank you for the call. What is in your mind, sir?
Yeah, this our TV is to promote what our fighters are doing on the ground, irrespective of any group that they come from.
Very correct.
I think last weekend was a celebration too for us. Their own captain general was killed, was put down, and I expected this program to parade, at least to show the picture too on the TV, so that Ambazonia too could also see what our boys on the ground they did. I think that was a marvelous job. I expected at this program to something to be mentioned about it and their own picture.
Which one are you talking about? Are you not talking about the exploit by Sokadev?
Yes, Sokadev, correct. That was a good job.
Yeah, I don't think you have been watching. I don't think you have been watching. We've been talking about Sokadev since Monday.
That's good. That's good. That's what we want to see. We want to see people fighting and not only to be talking like the ADF are doing, and we don't see where they are fighting. I think that's what we encourage.
Listen, every group that fights this fight, whether it belongs to even if Paul Atanganje form his own group and killing the Republic soldiers on our behalf, I will bless him. So thank you, and we will show it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, let's see who is next here. The line is open. I know many of you cannot come across with your calls, but the line is open. Go ahead and you call. Go ahead and call. So many missed calls here. Good evening. We are with you, Secretary Chris. Let's carry the word to La Republique. Okay, that's somebody writing from ground zero. Okay, hello.
Yeah, Secretary Chris, good evening.
Good evening, sir. Calling from where?
From Nizam County.
Okay, and what is your contribution?
Yeah, I want to thank you first for the courage you have up to today. You know, we've not yet believed that our AFM is gone. Up to today, we have not yet believed. If you will not come to air to say things of this nature, we will still yeah. Anyway, what I wanted to say is that the highest enablers are rather in the diaspora right now.
Good.
Those who are causing this confusion down here. I don't know what strategy the interim government is using to bring these people to their senses. But all I know is that if you allow the diasporas, they are the one who has the money. They call fighter here, they call fighter the other way. They promise them money. Some they even send some few dollars to someone. People are flattered when they see money. So my prayer is that you people should see how you can come together. The highest, if you can see this thing carefully, you will discover that enablers and blacklegs start coming in around 2018. So all is just because of confusion that is just dropping in. People are being killed, family members are being killed here and there, and because of that, it's causing a lot of tension. What I wanted to say is that if these frontline leaders all over the world, if they can come together and form a common front,
Okay.
irrespective of the fire.
That's a bad network there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I will go back to the panel and take your last words. In the meantime, let me read what people are. Right, let me get this to this caller here. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Chris.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
Tico.
From Tico. All right. What is in your mind, sir?
Yes, I want to talk with Madam Secretary Assam.
Okay. She's listening to you. Go on.
Yes. The way things they do for Tico here, we know you understand the whole FACO. They understand how this thing go. Because even on Monday, the things they did way to come out to Anna Pasco, Boya, bosses, and so on and so forth. So, Madam Asson, now you didn't be Secretary of Defense. So, one no, at the corner of Tico, Monday, the things every year, you know, please.
All right. He don't hear you. Let's hope Say gets some more answer for you. Thank you for the call. SOS, you have an answer for him?
Secretary Chris, he was breaking up from my end. What did he say?
He said he is very concerned with Tico. Nothing happens in Tico, even on ghost towns or when action is expected, nothing goes on the entire FACO. He is hoping that you will do something and do it really quick.
Oh yeah. Thank you very much, caller, for that question. We just realize a lot of things are going on the ground, not just in Paco. A lot of counties, things are really not moving, but we are working. Trust me, we are working. And we'll make sure that the dynamics on the ground changes as fast as possible, both in all the counties that have been sleeping for all these years. We're going to revitalize all the counties and make sure that actions are happening in all the 13 counties and the 61 LGA, even those ones that are being hijacked by La République du Cameroon because of our enablers. We're going to disappoint them in the days ahead. You guys just have faith. We are working on it. We're going to change the ground gradually. A lot of some fighters were corrupt and there have been an obstacles on other fighters that want to go out and take some actions, but that is being taken care of, and I can assure all of you out there that the days ahead, things are going to be different. Just stay put, have patience, have confidence that we are going to change the game on the ground. Whether the public like it or not, no matter their confusion, there is no lockdown in Amazonia, not anytime soon that we know of, as far as this interim government led by President Ian Marietta is concerned. There is no lockdown. We are a transitional government, just for Amazonia to know that we are just 6 months transitional government. And after the elections, whoever wins the election will continue from where we stop, and things are not going to go back to normalcy. I can guarantee you all that no matter who takes over this sector of defense, things are not going to go back to normal. We are going to change the game on the ground in the days ahead. No matter who wins the election as the president, things are not going to go back to normal in Amazonia. Let La Republic keep trying with his enablers. They are not going to stop some of us. They can bribe the numbers of Amazonians that they want to bribe, but some of us that have lost loved ones, put our face out there. We are going to do everything possible to make sure things don't go back to normal. You can be
All
assured of
right.
that. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Let's get to this caller here. Hello.
Hello, Secretary. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Calling from Victoria, I guess, right?
Yes, calling from Victoria.
Okay. What is your contribution? Yes, go on, sir. What is the contribution? So there's a bad connection here.
Okay, we have our people. We have our people who are the one giving information to La Republic.
Those are what we call the blacklegs and the enablers.
They are then.
Yes.
Where is he from? Is he from Amazonia or La Republic? He said that belongs to Eli Smith is one of the person. Eli Smith is one of the person that is carrying out atrocities and they have their.
Well, sorry, sir. Your network is not good at all. Your network is not good at all. But thank you. I think we get your point. Let me read a message from. Sir, if those blacklegs ideas to lock down in respect of FM's death and people finally respect, we will not cry much because he was a hero. Well, this lockdown is not about FM. And by the way, why should we be locking down for a dead man? Ladies and gentlemen, is that a way of celebrating FM by locking down people? That is not a way to celebrate him. You want to celebrate him, you can declare a public holiday and ask people to take a day off and in memory, not to lock people down. What does it even mean to lock people down to celebrate FM? Does that bring him back? All right. Well, thank you all for the calls. I can't take any more calls. Let me see some messages. This one, right. Please, I wish to talk to you immediately after this program. Don't fail to call me. All right, sir, I hear you. Which other messages are here? All right, I will... All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my guests, thank you for all of you joining me today. Thank you, Reverend Asong. Thank you, Dr. Atianjo. Thank you, Honorable Chris. I give you 50 seconds each. I know you have been listening to the calls and you would love to say something before we call it a night. Dr. Atianjo, I'll start with you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Secretary Chris. We heard about, heard all the calls that came in, and everybody is just lamenting about the ordeal and the chaos that is being caused by enablers. And I just want us to understand a little bit about enablers so that we can actually identify them. We have a problem because there are some people who are enablers and might not even know that they're enablers. First of all, we have these political people who are following the CPDM. These are enablers. Then people who hate cultural and development associations dealing with the political elites of the place, of the area, are enablers. Now we have others who are destitute people, people in living in abject poverty, who go and solicit for help from these politicians, and in order they trade information about our boys and about our people to these politicians, and then they play a very vital role in killing killing our revolution. The next level of enablers are those that are in the diaspora. Those are the most dangerous enablers. And we have enablers who have decided to be very passive with this revolution, and they pay no attention when it comes to contributing. They don't want to do anything to this revolution, and they sit there and communicate with La Republique, and they do
Those
business
are
with La.
those are also the ones who are still shipping to La Republique de Cameroon every 2 months. They are still building businesses in La Republique de Cameroon, building buildings in La Republique de Cameroon. They still go in, come out, and none of you, nor me, can even sneak into that country.
Sure, exactly. Those enablers are the ones that are actually killing. They do business. When I say it's a very big word that I'm using here to actually put all of them together. Those those you have just defined, they ship things to Cameroon, La Republic every day now and then. They do businesses, they build houses, they do all sort of things with La Republic. How do they go? What connections do they have? They have La Republique. They trade our secrets. They come and sit in our meetings, listen, take notes, trade our secrets for their own free entrance to La Republique to do business. They enrich themselves because of this revolution, and yet they don't want to even contribute a dime for the revolution. And then we also have our brothers from, La Republique frogs, who are part of this, the great, part of the enabling team. These are blacklegs who come around us and try to sympathize with us in beer parlors, trying to inquire about things about us, and then they take it the next minute, they step out and make calls to La Republique. So we all know these enablers. If we do not launch a war against enablers, then we are not going to make any step towards Boya. We have to
All
launch a
right.
big war. Because I don't even care about La Republique, I care about enablers, because when enablers will cry, La Republique will listen. They will hear the cry.
All
Thank
right,
you.
all right. Thank you, Reverend Asong. Please don't go beyond 1 minute. I don't think we can hear you.
Your mic.
Sorry about that. I just want to thank all of you for coming. Thank Amazonians. This assignment is for all Amazonians in diaspora, ground one, ground zero, because we have enablers in ground one as well. Those that are giving information about our refugees, those that are in communication with us and they are in communication with the Republic. Please, this assignment is for everybody. Anyone that you identify as an enabler, let the ARF know so that they can deal with them accordingly. They are the problem. They are the reason why this revolution is being delayed. They are the reason why you guys are in foreign lands, suffering, sleeping on the floor, no food to eat, suffering from malaria and cholera. Those black legs are very dangerous, and there is no sympathy on any black legs, both in Amazonia and in the diaspora, and those in ground one. If we want to get to Buea as soon as possible, if you have your neighbor that you think is a black leg, let us know. We'll do our investigation by ourselves, and we'll make sure the ARF visit them as soon as possible. For those
All
that are
right.
doing constructions while we are fighting war, we are telling you that in the days ahead, you are not going to be free. Watch us come after you in the
All
days
right,
ahead.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Well said. Thank you. Honorable Chris, please, your final word in 1 minute maximum.
Yes, thank you very much, Secretary Chris. Thank you also to DOS Asong and Dr. Tianjo. Um, I will start by saying to Ambazonians, we cannot, repeat, we cannot lose this war. We lose this war, we are finished. We will not use this war. I will put into the brains of all Ambazonians two words: persistence and endurance. We persist and we endure. No matter what French Cameroon does, we persist and we endure. Since the beginning of written history, we know that they have always been traitors. They have always been traitors. You go into the Bible, you will find traitors in there, from the Old Testament to the New Testament. Now, what do we do with them? We have to fight them. We have to fight back, because essentially they are also fighting the war. They are fighting the war, and if they are fighting the war, they are legitimate targets. Therefore, that is how we should treat them. We should treat them as legitimate targets, and they should know that they are legitimate targets. And especially those that are in French Cameroon, regardless of their position within the government or even in civil society, if they are partnering with French Cameroon to destroy their own people, they are on the wrong side of history, and history eventually is going to judge them. That is my conclusion, and that is my advice to them and to all Ambazonians. Thank you.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for showing up to be part of this broadcast today. Look forward to having you back one of these days. And ladies and gentlemen, for all of you out there, thank you for tuning in. I'd just like to remind you, if you are anywhere in Toronto, Canada, I'd like to remind you, Toronto is gathering on Saturday. Toronto is gathering on Saturday for Field Marshal the King. Toronto is gathering on Saturday for Field Marshal the King, and that is the address on your screen. If you live in Toronto and you want to join Ambazonians celebrating the sacrificial life of Field Marshal, get the phone number, get the address, and all that you need to be able to be at that event tomorrow night, Saturday night, in Toronto, precisely at 30 Main Street South, Brampton. I believe Brampton is in the outskirts of Toronto. Again, that event is taking place tomorrow. In the meantime, on August the 13th, Washington, D.C. will stand still for Field Marshal. Washington, D.C. will stand still for Field Marshal on Saturday, August the 13th. If you want to book your flight, feel free to do so. That date has been written on stone. We expect to see all lovers of freedom and independence, all lovers, supporters of Field Marshal the King in Washington, D.C. on Saturday, August the 13th. Ladies and gentlemen, please, before I go, remember to install ABS on your television set using Roku. Remember to install ABS in your home, on your home set. Again, it's very easy to do so. You just get to go and on the panel on the left, you scroll down and you see streaming media. Click on streaming media, and then enter the search term Africa Broadcasting Service, and you will see ABS logo will pop up. You download and install it, and it will be hanging on your screen, just as you see right there. That way, anytime, any day, you can watch what ABS is broadcasting. You'll be able to watch the same thing that Ground Zero is watching by way of satellite. So go ahead and do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, it was a pleasure to be with you today. I look forward to being back here on Monday with more exciting shows, very more exciting shows, and some special guests that I shall be bringing in. So that is what is coming up. So I wish you all have a great weekend, and know that no retreat, no surrender until La Republic retreats, until Black Legs and Enablers retreat. We are not calling it quit. Not until again, Boya is our destiny. Good night, everybody.